Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Is Where Words Do Come to Life. I had just talked about on my other videos, and I've been talking about this for a long time, that karma is something else, and God has no respect of person. But little did I know that it would come like it did. So, yesterday, um, I was up, and about 12:30ish, something like that, quarter one, I received this notification. And it says, officers respond to domestic incident at Kim Foxx home. Police report. And I was like, oh, somebody showed up at her house? Then I open it up and I begin to read. It says, Kim Foxx, who is your state's attorney, informed police she did put her hands on her husband, whose name Kelly, but it was only to help guide him out of the house, the officer noted in the report. I'm like, wow, the state's attorney is an abuser because you're putting your hands on your husband and you acknowledge that. Police in South Suburban were recently called to the home of Cook County State's Attorney Kim, whose husband died. Her husband died. 911 during a domestic dispute with the prosecutor, according to a police report provided by sources. At approximately 10:09 p.m. on Saturday, officers responded to Fox's home when her husband, Kelly Foxx, called 911 to report a domestic incident involving his wife, according to the report. Kelly informed officer, as Kim Foxx is referred to in the police report, got mad about something that was posted on Facebook that he did, the document stated. Now, here is something for me. Why are you mad about something that was posted on Facebook? And is it that bad that it came to a domestic situation? And is this the first time? You have to ask that question. Then when Kimberly asked him to leave, he refused. The officer noted at that point Kimberly became physical. Now, anybody else become physical, their ass would be locked up. So here is the state's attorney being physical with her husband about something that was posted on Facebook. People see things and they react a certain way, but they go to jail. They sit overnight until the courts are resumed on Monday. But none of that happened, right? An argument about something that was posted on Facebook. It's amazing to me that you forget that you're human and every action causes a reaction. So now, how can you explain that? Please explain it, because I'm not understanding how this worked. Kimberly grabbed his collar and threw down his video game controller, the report stated. He tried to turn on the TV and Kimberly snatched the controller out of his hand and threw the controller. So if he's not responding back to you and he's trying to de-escalate the situation and you're steady escalating the situation, you don't understand how everybody else get to the point that they get to. Because this is what the state's attorney's office do. You try to prove that the other person was intentionally doing what he tried to do. He or she tried to do. But nobody went nowhere. The officer wrote that while Kelly explained what happened, Kimberly said, all that is true. Kelly told police Kimberly slapped him and indicated he was slapped on his left cheek. Now, this is your husband. You get that mad at your husband that you want to slap him. And I know some women do. They do slap their husband. But that's physical abuse. That's what it is. And so I was talking to a friend of mine today. And I was saying he's got to be a punk if he's letting his wife punk him like that. And then somebody else said, well, the Cabrini Green came out of her. But then here is the conversation that really got me. Maybe he's setting up so when she get kicked out of office, he can get a divorce and he can sue her. I was like, wow. Have we come to that? Is it that serious now? The officer used his flashlight to see Kelly's cheek and did not observe any indicators to support his claim of being struck. Because you slap somebody does not mean always it leaves a handprint. Y'all should know that by now. Kelly told officers he just wanted someone to understand what was happening here. Said that Kimberly was being physically aggressive and he just wanted it to stop, authorities said. So that leads me to believe that it's not the first time, but also leads me to believe that people create their own scenarios. The very scenarios that your office fight against. Now, here you are in similar scenarios of domestic violence that women deal with all the time. But now it's not the man that's being abusive, it's our state's attorney being abusive. Kimberly informed police she did put her hands on Kelly, but it was only to help guide him out of the house, the officer noted. She also maintained she didn't slap Kelly, according to the report. When police asked Kimberly whether she felt she was safe in the home with Kelly, she said, I mean, he's not crazy, so that means he better not try it. The report stated both husband and wife informed police they have been together for over 20 years and things have never been physical. Wow. But then you have to wonder, what was the buildup that got you to this point? See, you should understand, Kim Foxx. Scenarios are easy to get into, but they hell to get out of. They're hell to get out of. Your anger pushed you to a level that you touched your husband. You said you tried to escort him out the house. He said you slapped him. You said you didn't. His word against your word. But this is the same arguments that you have when you go to court, right? And because of your position in your place, they was more concerned with your well-being. Now, he made the 911 call, and they were not concerned about his well-being. They was only concerned whether you felt safe enough to stay in the house with him. Where were your children? Were they gone? I said this just not too long ago in my other videos. Y'all do people wrong so much and you think that nothing will ever happen to you, that nothing will ever touch you, that you are untouchable. Well, you're wrong. Y'all all wrong. Because you are in a political office does not mean that you are untouchable. But it does go to show you that situations can happen. It goes to show you that tables can turn. And somebody should have went somewhere. Because if it was a regular house, a regular call with regular people that did not hold an office, somebody would have been escorted out the house. Or somebody could have potentially been sitting in a holding cell for the night. But that didn't happen. Why? Because of your status. That's why it didn't happen. But know this, you all are human. Y'all make mistakes just like everybody else. Don't you understand that stuff happens? You don't get that? So should we make a diehard case against you now because of what you did, and you know better? You know better to not put your hands on anybody. And for it to be an adult, then y'all should have sit down and had a conversation about whatever the post was. It could not have been that bad that it made you that angry. Was it a buildup of other things that was going on in your life? We would never know. But it only goes to show that you're human. and you make mistakes just like everybody else. Why this system is so hell bent on highlighting somebody else's mistakes. Now, I understand justice had to be served. I understand people do break the law, and I understand they need to serve their time. But in this case, and looking at this situation, it is hilarious. And not hilarious in a funny way, but hilarious that you have gotten caught up in some foolishness like this. The state's attorney's office. And you think that's a good look for you? Because I don't think it's a good look for you. Y'all might try to downplay it. You might try to sweep it up under the rug. But do you have any underlying anger issues you haven't addressed? Are you harboring some ill feelings against someone that you haven't addressed? Since y'all analyze everybody else, let us analyze you. What pushed you to the point to react the way you did when you know better fully? See, you ain't all that perfect like you make it seem to be. Shit can happen to you like it happened to anybody else. That's all I want y'all to understand. See, while you're judging somebody else's life, be careful. When they talk about pointing the finger at somebody else, how many fingers pointed back at you? That shade popped up last night. Wasn't a good feeling. And I know you're going to try to play this down. I know you are. But it's okay. You can play it down. It's out there now. And I wonder if it would hit the records and stay there, it might disappear. Nobody won't talk about that. They're going to keep that up under the table. It's amazing. So amazing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.